Congratulations! You just asked out your crush, they accepted, and now you're dating. You can't wait to update your relationship status, get a joint bank account, and start arranging your unconscious bodies together in uncomfortable positions.
Wait, what was that last one?
That's right. Don't celebrate just yet, because today we're talking about cuddling. Who's it for? Is it worth it? And how does it work? I'm Duke Sudsy, and I'm here at the bottom of the ocean to talk about cuddling. Why here? Well, 2 reasons. 1, this is where the Titanic is, and that's the most romantic movie of all time. And 2, because cuddlefish. Look at that little guy. Look at that cute little cuddlefish. Adorable. Did you know that cuddlefish have 3 hearts? That's probably why they're called cuddlefish, because they love you 3 times more than you love them. But today's lesson isn't about marine biology. It's about showing affection to somebody through the act of some type of awkward, horizontal human Tetris thing, commonly known as cuddling. And no, I will not change the background because I plan to reference one more sea creature later on. So let's get wet for cuddling. Wait.
Yeah, no, I see it. Can we not have this line in here? I just don't think it sounds...
Now, some people think of cuddling like they think of Christmas. It's warm, it's emotional, it's cozy, it's sweet, and you get to spend time with someone you love. Other people think of cuddling more like the company Christmas party. It's boring, no one wants to be there, and you're pretending like it's fun when really you just can't wait for it to be over. So today, we're going to be talking about different types of cuddling and various cuddling positions. Let's get started. Types of cuddling. There are 2 main categories here. Cuddling when you're awake and cuddling when you're asleep. I'll cover them both. Cuddling when you're awake. Okay, this falls into 2 varieties, public and private. Public cuddling, what's that? It's when you're cuddling in public. Let's say you're at the movies watching, I don't know, Titanic for example, or you're holding hands at the mall, Eskimo kisses, PDA in general. Basically, get a room. It's kind of fun if you're a teenager, but rest assured, everyone around you thinks it's gross, and once you reach your 30s, you will probably never be doing this unless you're on Molly or something. So, moving on. Private cuddling. That's pretty much the same as before, but in an isolated setting. Someone told you to get a room, so you did. Good job. This is basically the prologue to foreplay, so there's a 60% chance that if you're cuddling someone privately, one of you is horny, so watch out. Some people call this heavy petting, caressing, canoodling, or snuggling, which is kind of like the demo version to cuddling, but it still kind of counts. Anyways, maybe you boink and pass out. And that leads to the next category, sleep cuddling, or what some people call an absolute nightmare, where 2 or more willing participants attempt to fondle each other while they're unconscious. Sleep cuddling has its own subcategories, romantic and practical. Let's start with romantic cuddling. Generally speaking, this is mainly going to be couples, flings, other intimately entwined people like spouses, partners, etc. But some escorts will cuddle you for the right price. Now, if you are sharing a bed with somebody that you're not romantically involved with, you either have too many roommates or you're out of town for a wedding, staying at the La Quinta Inn, and asked for 2 twin beds, but they didn't have any vacancy, and you got there late with another groomsman, so your only option was to sleep on the floor or share a queen bed with him. And he's nice, but he snores, and it's a whole thing. Which leads us to practical cuddling. There are a few instances where it's okay to cuddle someone you're not in a relationship with. For example, if your house is haunted and your friend is spending the night to make sure you don't get possessed, boom. Or if you're the grandparents from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, why not? They looked cozy. Or if you're freezing to death in a blizzard and trying to stay warm, it's pretty much an extended platonic hug. Maybe if Rose and Jack were cuddling on that raft, Jack wouldn't have frozen to death. Just a thought. Another example of practical cuddling would be if you have young children who just had a nightmare. In that case, cuddle away. I shouldn't have to say this, but do not ever cuddle with anybody's kids other than your own, ever. Unless they're freezing to death in a blizzard, but other than that, no, don't do it. Now that's why people cuddle, but you may be thinking, how do people cuddle? What are the movesets? What does it look like? For this, I will focus on romantic sleep cuddling, only because that's the most common and it's pretty much influenced the rest of cuddling culture. So most of these techniques were invented for sleeping. So just how does somebody cuddle in their sleep?
Oh, I just want to get some sleep.
I'm glad you asked. Just imagine if your pillow had a nervous system. Just pretend to be comfortable while another human being lightly restrains you. If if you ever wanted a weighted blanket that breathes and sweats, cuddling is for you. They say it releases endorphins and dopamine, but so does running, and only masochists like running. Regardless, it's like jury duty. You're gonna have to do it at some point in your life, whether you like it or not. Firstly, to cuddle, you're gonna need a bed. Now, beds traditionally have been used for one of two things. One, sleeping, and two, jumping on when your parents are out of town. But somebody, somewhere, decided that these two things aren't fun enough as it is and began doing the matrimonial polka all over the mattress. And now, universally, beds are synonymous with the devil's tango, the bedroom rodeo, the parallel park in your privates after midnight, whatever you want to call it. It's blanket. And sleep cuddling basically occurs after a boinkathon. So you might be thinking, I already just had to undergo the nightmare of figuring out how to fit two human bodies awkwardly together. Now I have to do it again? Unfortunately, yes. I didn't make the rules. Oh, my name tag fell off. Okay, where was I? Sleep cuddling techniques. Don't worry, I have diagrams. Now, I plan to reenact these, but I couldn't find anyone who wanted to cuddle me, which is fine by me. So I'll be going over each cuddle position, the pros, cons, and then I'll rate them all at the very end. Let's get started. Starting with Big Spoon. Now, Big Spoon is the Starbucks of cuddling. It's everywhere. Everybody knows it, and it kinda sucks. Pros are, first of all, the name is pretty badass. In any other scenario, Big Spoon would be a cool nickname for a secret agent or a mafia member, but another benefit is it's a power position cuddle. You have full control of your partner, and they can't escape. Not that they would want to, but it should be noted. Also, not that you would need to, but Big Spoon can also transition into a chokehold pretty easily if you ever feel endangered. Probably wouldn't, but you never know. Cons are, your bottom arm will go numb, probably before your heart does, unless you have 3 of them. Other cons include hair in your face all night, you can't check your phone, and your point-blank range from a close quarter gas attack. But if Big Spoon isn't your thing, you can always try its baby cousin, Little Spoon. Now, Little Spoon is a weaker position, but the pros are you can feel safe and protected. You also have access to the nightstand, and you won't be inhaling anyone else's hair. Plus, in the event of a chokehold, you can always do a sharp backwards headbutt right near the nose, if you like. Now, cons are you're being smothered by a human sleeping bag. You will overheat, and you can't roll over. You can breathe clearly, but someone else is breathing on the back of your neck all night. Also, they say never turn your back on a tiger or it might attack you, so it's important to make sure that your partner is not in fact a tiger, or you might get Siegfried and Roy. You never know. Moving on to the cradle, also known as shingles because you lay on your back interlocking like roof shingles. Don't actually cuddle if you have shingles. Now, I personally call this one the nice ceiling fan because you're stuck looking at the fucking ceiling fan all night. Now, the pros are, if you can sleep on your back, it's great and no one's breathing on you, unlike Little Spoon. Plus, it's fairly easy to slide out of you need to get away. Cons are snoring. People sleeping on their back generally snore, so turn up that white noise machine if you need. Also, once again, your arm's gonna go numb if you're the cradler. If you're the cradlee, your pillow is a human arm, and unless they have muscle or padding or something, you're just cuddling with a bone, and not the boinky kind. The flippity flop of this is the reverse cradle. It's the same as the cradle, but you're facing opposite directions like an offset human sandwich. Now, this one's a mixed bag depending on which position you're in. If you're on your back, once again, arm tinglers are gonna happen, but you're getting breathed on also, and overheating are issues. If you're on your stomach in the cradle, prepare for Snore City, but if you like whispering sweet nothings into each other's ear, then this position is fine. You might get your earlobe nibbled on and some weird shit. I don't know, there's a lot of flexibility with this one, but it often leads to the next position, which I'll cover now, and that is face to face, also known as the honeymoon hug, but I like to call it a big old lump of spaghetti, because look at that shit. Pros, there's not a lot. It's kind of romantic, I guess. You can wake up looking at each other, provided you slept at all. That's about it. Cons are, first and foremost, eye contact. Anyone who stares at you in the eyes for more than 3 seconds is a serial killer. Second, you're breathing directly into each other's faces. Even if you breathe through your nose, somehow the air goes down and ricochets off the top of your lip and then goes out and directly into the other person's face. Lastly, there's too many appendages interweaving with each other. Unless you're an octopus, there's no reason to have 8 separate limbs all attempting to interact with each other. Told you I'd do it. Also, octopuses have 9 brains. They're super smart, and they live mostly solitary lives. So if you're watching this and you don't have anyone to cuddle with, just remember that an octopus would probably think that your life is badass. But to get back on track, the last position is the opposite of face-to-face, which is, of course, back-to-back. This is known as we got in a fight earlier, or maybe the flame has died. This is a favorite among older couples who just really want to go to sleep. So the pros, there's a ton of them. No snoring, no body contact, open air channels on both sides of the bed. You can enter and leave the bed on both sides at will. You're also protecting both sides of the bed in the event of attacker. This has the most utility of any other position by far. Cons are that a particularly assertive cuddler will turn this into a big spoon, little spoon scenario real quick. It's only a 180-degree turn. It's basically a Western draw on who's the quickest. And if you're not careful, some arm slinger's gonna grapple you up from behind before you get a chance to fall asleep. Dang, my freaking name tag keeps falling off. So that's how to cuddle. But which one is the best? Let's find out. I'm gonna rate all of these right now. Okay, we'll start with Little Spoon. I'll move that to a C because of the lack of mobility, the restraint factor, and the overheating. Big Spoon, I say this is a hard B just because it can easily transition into back-to-back. Face-to-face, that's obvious D tier. There's nothing redeeming about this, and quite frankly, it's unnatural. The Cradle, I'll put this up in C with Little Spoon. I would put it at a B because it has the least amount of body coverage, but the snoring factor kind of knocks it down. Reverse Cradle, that's a B because it can accommodate both back and front sleepers, so it's pretty flexible. Back-to-back, 100% A tier. I don't think that needs to be explained. You can check your phone, you can stretch your legs. It's like the cuddling equivalent of having an aisle seat on a plane with no one sitting next to you. But what about this S tier? Why is that one empty? Well, in this case, S stands for sleep, and I have one last position to rate. That's right, no cuddling. S tier for sure. This is due to the freedom, the peace, the comfort, the autonomy. As they say, when you take control of your morning, you take control of the day. Now, that may have been from a Folgers commercial, I don't remember, but I think it can definitely apply to cuddling here. There you go, there you have it. That's everything you need to know about cuddling. The pineapple pizza of the bedroom, some might say, because some people love it, some people hate it. But now you're a pro, and with this knowledge, you can get in bed with your new partner with both confidence and apprehension. Never let go. I'm Duke Sudsy. Don't do anything I've mentioned in this video if you have lice or chickenpox, and get on Bumble and get that cuddle. I gotta go. I have a coffee date with my friend here, so I'll see you later. Before I go, do you want to know what app we met on?